What is the ethical conflict between individual rights and collective well-being? Imagine living in a community where everyone's freedom is respected, but at times, some restrictions are necessary to keep everyone safe. This is the core of a big question in ethics and society. How do we balance personal freedoms with the needs of the group? This question pops up in many areas like health, law, and politics. It's a tug-of-war between protecting individual rights such as privacy and autonomy, and promoting the health and safety of the entire community. Individual rights are about what each person is entitled to, like freedom of speech, privacy, and choosing their lifestyle. These rights are based on respecting personal dignity and independence. On the other side, collective well-being focuses on the overall health, safety, and happiness of the society. Sometimes, to improve the community's well-being, governments or groups may need to limit some personal freedoms. For example, during a health crisis, authorities might enforce quarantine rules or requiring vaccinations to prevent disease spread. The tricky part is deciding when it's okay to restrict individual rights. If a threat is serious, like a deadly virus, restricting freedoms might be justified. But if the threat is minor, limiting rights could be seen as unfair or unnecessary. The effectiveness of the action also matters. If a law or rule clearly helps protect the community, it's easier to justify. But if there are less intrusive options that work just as well, those should be considered first. Different ethical theories give us different ways to look at this. Utilitarianism says we should do what creates the most good for the most people, even if it means limiting some individual freedoms. Liberalism, however, emphasizes protecting personal freedoms and might resist restrictions unless absolutely necessary. Communitarianism stresses the importance of community values and responsibilities, which can support collective measures if they align with social goals. Philosophers like Ronald Dworkin argue that laws should protect human dignity and equality, even when they promote the common good. Critics warn that too much focus on collective rights can lead to unfair control or oppression of individuals. In real life, this conflict shows up in policies like mandatory vaccinations, quarantine rules, or surveillance programs. Governments have to decide how much they can limit personal choices to keep everyone safe. For example, during a pandemic, restrictions on movement or mask mandates are debated because they restrict personal freedom but aim to save lives. Theories of justice help us think about fairness and how benefits and burdens are shared. They guide us in balancing individual rights with societal needs. In health care, for instance, it's about ensuring everyone gets fair access while respecting personal choices. Overall, this ethical conflict is about finding a way to respect each person's dignity while also caring for the community's health and safety. It's a constant balancing act, requiring careful thought about what's fair, what's effective, and what's respectful of everyone's rights.